Hi guys, and welcome to the next step in our refurb of our Yamaha V90, and today I will be looking at the wheel. This is the front wheel, and the job we'll be doing today will be actually to change the tyre and tube. We'll also be looking at the inside of the drum hub here, giving that a bit of a clean, also checking the spokes. We'll also be going on the inside of the wheel there, checking the end of the spokes, so we've got the connectors on it to see how they go. Okay, so we've armed ourselves with a sort of steady bench that we can put things on. Next thing we're obviously going to need is a couple of tyre levers. I've got one largish one here and a little small one I use here for getting in and encouraging the tyre off. Next thing we need to look at is obviously you need to get the air out of the tyre. Now, we're fortunate with this one in that it has, I don't know if you can catch that on there, it's got a valve core extractor on the end of the dust cap. Not all dust caps will have this, some of this will be flat, but the other way of doing it would just be to sort of get something down there and squeeze it, and if you can hear that, we've got a bit of air coming out. So what we'll do is we'll pop this on here and we'll give this a bit of a twist. It says optimistically, there we go. And the valve core is now coming out, or it would have been. No, it's actually chewed up the end of the valve core extractor. No, there we go. Nice surge there. So we'll put that to one side. We won't ever need it, but you never know, you might want to keep a spare. It was obviously holding air in there, so I presumed it was alright. So now we've got the tyre completely deflated. Okay, we've slackened this nut off now. We'll just take it out completely. There we go. Now, whereas we're not interested in the tyre, it doesn't matter, or the tube, it doesn't really matter how much potentially we damage it. But if you need to put the tube back in, if you've got a puncture or whatever, then obviously you need to treat it carefully when you're lifting it off. Because what can happen when you put one of these underneath, you get that pinched between the tube pinched between the tyre and the rim. You can cause more punctures. And believe you me, I have done that myself, and it's not good. Okay, so let's see if we can get this tyre off of here. Now, just pull this back a bit, because the camera's going to see it. Let's pop that one in under there. In under there. Now, and that comes up over there. You should be able to get that one in. There we go. And it's really just a case of working around. And once you get in actually going over the rim, you'll actually find after about here that you can probably just do it by hand after that. But there we go. Tyre levers are coming up loose. So we can whisk that around now. Normally I would start from the valve, but in this instance, as we're junking the tyre and the tube, we don't need to worry about it. So that's got that far. What we can do now is we can pop that tube out. There. There we go. Here's the old tube. I can feel plenty of rust on this. Places. You can see the orange on the side of the wheel there, which denotes has been sat around for a good long period of time. Bit of rim tape there, looks like, rusted onto the actual tube. So, if you can see that, general rust. We've had a bit of moisture in the wheel, probably where it's been stood. A bit of moisture runs to the bottom. Again there, a couple of places. All in all, I think we want to chuck that one because that's not going to be any good. And there we go. And down to there. Up. You can see, you probably won't be able to see, and here, big line of rust. So, probably just literally pull that off of there. There we go. Once you've got one side off, it's clean. Yeah, there we go. Put that around that way, you can see a bit better. You can see this thick line of rust, crustaceans, and that's all got to come off. And we can probably do it with a new rim tape as well. You can see rust on the end of the spokes. So some of them are okay, some of them not so good. We'll give that a good clean up with a wire brush. Potentially put some corrosion inhibitor on there as well. Okay, well bearing in mind this is 70s chrome work, it's not coming up too bad. Still a little bit of detail work we can get stuck into, but on the whole we've cleaned it up reasonably well. The bike was manufactured in was on the road in 1979, so you're talking nearly 40 years old there. So that's not too bad really. Japanese chrome of the 70s wasn't known for lasting more than a couple of years before it fell apart, so I'm quite pleased with that. But what we'll do now is we'll put some inhibitor on here, bit of wax, just to clean it off quite well, and then we can put some rim tape on there, put the tube on, and put the tyre on. Okay, let's look inside this drum. Now I don't know if you can see it, but generally down inside this drum here, down here, this is all sort of like some kind of weird, it's almost like some kind of corrosion based oily waxy kind of surface, which I don't know if I can show it a bit clearer if I can get it to the light. There you go, you can see the inside of that. You can just about see where I've rubbed it down. You can see like the score marks in the metal. But that, absolutely awful surface for braking, should be onto the metal of the drum. So we're going to have a good time cleaning that up to make that usable again. Improve your braking efficiency so we can actually stop. Our wheel, we've had a bit of a refurb over. We've done inside the drum there and got rid of that. It's basically almost like a laminated veneer. That's what it was. That's what it seemed like. Bit of going over with the steel wool, sandpaper, got us back to emery cloth, got us back to a steel basis, so we should have brake drum onto, or brake shoes onto the brake drum now, rather than that kind of waxy surface, which wouldn't do the shoes any good, certainly wouldn't do stopping any good, and if you want to stop in the wet, you need good brakes. Other thing we've done, we've gone over with paint on the actual areas that we had rust on. We've cut that back a little bit now, so we don't want too much paint. We don't want the tube to stick to the paint. So we've given that, we could be able to put the rim tape over it and actually get the tyre back on. So that's going to be the next job. Okay, so what we've done is we've put the tyre on half the way round first. So it's on one side, but now we've got to obviously put the tube in, and then we'll lever this side on, as it's the flat side, when we're done. So the tube will go in through there first, then we'll work our way away from the valve around and end up back at the valve. Right, what we're trying to do here is work the tube in to the tyre, and then we can bring it over and get this side of the bead over the actual rim. So basically we've got a little bit of air in here. That's just to go give it a little bit of body, otherwise it's just, you're just going to end up pinching it or something like that. So near this up, we tuck that really inside like that as we go, working our way around back towards the valve. Rather than create a video showing you how to put on the tyre, I've just basically reversed the one that I did taking the tyre off. The principle is basically about the same. You work your way around, taking care not to pinch the tube, and then finally you'll get to a point, now obviously the tyre's going to be quite tight, where you can actually bring the whole edge of the tyre over onto the rim, and pretty much boom, there we go, the job will be done. Okay, so this is the old tyre, and if ever you wanted a proof that it was knackered, if you look just down the centre of there, you can probably see the canvas showing. And also equally on the side, which is probably a better way of doing it, you can see that it's actually rotten as a pear. So that tyre is absolutely lethal. Even though the tube in it would hold pressure, you wouldn't want to be riding around on that.